Clothing is another thing that's done in Peru. They have these amazing malls up there where you can go in and get any kind of shirts, jackets, shoes, really anything you need. They're quite unique actually because they take up something like a city block, and each little section is only about 10 square feet that you have in each one, and they sell all different things in there. It goes on. They seem to go on forever. It would take you all day to walk around in there and find out what you might need, but it's really the way to go shopping. Again, Tacna is much less expensive for food, and great food. The Peruvians do some amazing food, and it's really, as I say, it's really inexpensive. Here in Arica, it's expensive to go out and get a simple sandwich and French fries. Will cost about $8, which to me is very expensive for here. I mean, it's a nice restaurant and all, but it's expensive for people living here. You know what I mean? They wouldn't do that. It's mostly for tourists or people like myself, retired, and I don't do it that often. One main street, one more main corridor down there, where there's no cars allowed. It's just pedestrian only. That's where all their stores are. The banks and drugstores and clothing stores. They're all in that one street. And people just go down there, walk up and down that street all day. It's entertaining. Or just to sit down on a sidewalk cafe and have a cup of coffee and watch people go by and watch people go up and down. It's good. It's nice. It's nice and relaxing,
People used to meet in the cafes.
Yeah, it's a meeting place. It's a meeting place for anybody if you're coming into town or coming from different parts of town, you can always set up down there and say, I'll meet you at Café Del Mar, and sit down and have a coffee or a tea. Obviously you don't have to eat, and you can sit there most of the day and just watch as things go by. Nobody hurries you up. Nobody wants to get you out of there. It's quite relaxing. The whole idea is quite relaxing. I don't know. There's nothing, to say that you actually hate something. You know what I mean? You get a little bit upset if you're walking downtown and people are walking so slow that you're backed up and you're trying to get around them. But no, I can't think of anything I can say that I actually hate about living here. You know what I mean? It's if you're in a hurry, this is no place to come at all, because everything is slowed up. It's just slowed down. I mean, if you go into a bank, you're going to be waiting there for some time, especially if there's someone in front of you. They seem to take all day to get stuff done. But as I say, it's something that you have to get used to. I mean, whether you go into a drugstore to get a prescription or to get a tube of toothpaste or whatever, you're going to be in some kind of a line waiting to be served. So, as I say, it's something that you have to deal with, But I look at it that I'm not in a hurry. I'm not going anywhere anyway, So it's just, I go in, I pay my bill, like for the internet. Sometimes I go down there and there's a line going out the door, and I know I'm going to be there for a good half an hour. But what else am I going to do, So yeah, it's slow in that respect. I mean, everything is slowed down. And I think that's part of the culture shock when you're constantly rushing around in whatever city you come from, either in Europe, North America, Canada. You're constantly rushing around, and then here it's like you're coming to a full stop. And it's just really easy going. And I suppose that takes some getting used to by some people. But yeah, it's I can't say as I find anything that I hate about it at all. Residency was really simple. I mean, you go down to the immigration office, you get the forms to fill out. Your first thing is to get temporary residency. But that, of course, turns out to be the most difficult. When I say the most difficult, that's the one that they need all your paperwork, your passport and stuff like that. But once you do that, you go in and you hand it into immigration. Then they give you a form which you keep with you, which allows you to stay in Chile beyond the 90 days that you would normally get. You have this piece of paper that says you've applied for temporary residency, so you don't have to leave the country. Then within a year, you will then be allowed to get your permanent residency. And that's quite simple because they have most of your paperwork anyway. So you're just going down to have yourself checked into Interpol and have your picture taken. And you need a proof of income. You need your passport. And that's, I think, about all you need. I mean, this idea that, before I came here and I was looking into to come into Chile and I was reading about it, and they were all going, oh, you need an FBI report, you have to get a medical exam. That was all garbage. You don't have to do any of those things. You just go in with your proof of how much money you're getting each month and your passport, and a letter from the U.S. Embassy in Santiago. Other than that, that's all you need. And as I say, a year later, you got your permanent residency. After 5 years, you can actually get Chilean passport if you want one.